Here we go, the final leg, the last run, phase one is nearly complete. Well, it's so nearly there. Right then, first, where we at? Righty then, what's all this about? Now, if you're new here, subscribe. There's 9 other videos on this fantastic project. Basically, I, colinfurze, I've been digging a secret tunnel from my house up to my shed, and eventually we'll go on to the bunker. Now, basically, over the last 2 years, I've been focusing on this area here. This is what I call phase one. Now, essentially, in the last video, we branched off from here because we like this project so much. We added an additional tunnel because basically go to the front of the house because at some point I want to bury the car under the drive so the car can come up out the drive. Oh, that'd be amazing. So we started to dig over this, didn't quite get it finished, so we've got half of that to do. There's going to be a little recess where we're going to house my compressor, which at the moment sits in the bunker shed. Absolutely fantastic. Now, as you can see, this is a wonderful map, but I've got something better than that. Yeah, we've got a new bit of merch. So what we've got here is this print of the architect drawings of the tunnel, exactly how is it at the moment. Everything on here, we've got the cross sections, the side view, we basically keep on digging written across it because that's essentially what I've been doing for the last 2 years. So you can get these, colinfurzeshop.com, for a limited time only, yeah, all going to be signed. So if you get there early, you will get signed ones. If you buy this in 2 or 3 months time, I can't guarantee they're going to be signed. Now, they're available in various different colours, but they are. Get yourself a piece of tunnel history. This video is also sponsored by Surfshark. There will be more about them in the video, but never mind all that, Colin. You've got a little bit of tunnel to finish. Hell yeah! Here we go. Here it comes. Here we go. There's more of it going. Yes, it's gone. This is all really loose. Like really loose. It's been easy. Just get your bits in. Get your bits. Your pigler in. Look, look. The whole lot's just another bit gone. All under here, look. Look. Nothing. If ever there was a cave, oh, there's a nice drop. Oh, I better go and get me torch. Oh, been asking for a cave, and I might be. Now it's not gonna be a full cave that we can walk around in, but it might make a nice shoe cupboard. A shoe cupboard. Oh, got my torch. Oh, the frame rate don't like this torch. I'm gonna go and get a better camera. Okay, we've cleared it out a little bit more. This is officially definitely the closest thing we're probably going to get to finding a cave on this project. Obviously, it's not the massive room I hoped for, but it is a slot which goes horizontal rather than vertical. And it is quite deep. It does go quite far, because if I get my 6-foot spirit level, look, I can pretty much disappears all the way in. God, so it goes right across. And like I said before, it does go under my house, that does. It's not a dinosaur, and it's not a huge extra room, but it's still pretty cool. Right, I'm going to need you back now. Continue digging, Colin, continue digging. I filled up my 14 tubs, and Rick's not even got back with the last 14 tubs yet. Look, I'm on fire. Need a third person. We've got Freddie, the neighbour from up the road. Now, he's not my exact neighbour in the fact that he's not joined onto my house, he's a few doors up. But he's the most interesting bloke on the street to come and have in a video, because you all liked him last time. But he does swear a lot.
Give us the shovels, let's get a bit of...
We've got one on your side.
Here, hold it. This is a muppet shovel. Get hold of the thing, here.
Wait a minute, I can't make my clothes.
Yeah, but I'm not used to work with a little muppet shovel. Not.
You got to have the merch on. Furze Mining Company t-shirt. Look, one of these. Come on, you can't be down here wearing whatever that is.
That's warm.
20 quid.
Warm head in the oven.
No, it's just been in the cupboard upstairs. But you know, we are experiencing a heat wave at the minute. You said you were a medium.
That's just medium, isn't it?
Medium.
It can't be medium. Look at it, it's like a blooming dress.
I like them like that. I like it long anyway.
See link in bio.
Get the f out.
I've been trying to do it silent, but the neighbours come down here making more noise.
Come on, Fuzzy, you start digging.
Yeah, all right. You've only been down here this morning. Have you enjoyed your tunnelling then, Freddie?
Oh, fantastic.
Check this out. This whole piece is moving. Look at that, look. Oh, look at those big bits, boy.
Are you talking?
Oh, yes. Now, while we've been digging this last section, it's actually been the driest July the UK's had in 100 years. But unbelievably, the mud that we've been going through has been the wettest and the stickiest we've ever known throughout the whole project. And you kind of thought, like, well, why is this? Well, basically, I'm thinking, obviously, as the soil dries out on the surface, the moisture comes up from underneath to replenish that moisture, you know, osmosis, keep it moist, so to speak. Now, this makes a lot of sense, because if you ever have a really dry spell on a playing field and there's been like a Roman footing or there was a building there, you know, you always see the foundations bit where it dries out even more and leaves like a line on the grass. Now, I used to think that was because the grass above that wasn't as thick and then the sun could bake it and it would kill it off more. But it's probably the fact that the water can't come up past that foundation and keep the ground moist underneath. And it's the same in my back garden where the bunker is. You can see exactly where the bunker is now in my back garden. This project is being very kindly sponsored by Surfshark, and you can support the project and future projects by supporting them. Now, using my link on the screen or in the description, you can get 83% off and 3 months completely free. But what is it, Colin? Surfshark! It's a VPN show! I've run out of fuel. Surfshark is a VPN. You can download it onto multiple devices all at once. It protects you completely while you're online. Protects your passwords, stop hackers getting into you. It protects your data and stops big companies tracking you. If you're on public Wi-Fi, it protects you even then. So basically, it is the ultimate cloak and security while you're on the internet. It can even tell the internet you're in a different part of the world. If you want to stream Netflix while you're abroad, you can do that, but you can select it to do that with different apps. If you want to use your banking app, you still can. It'll tell you that you're in the country that you're supposed to be in. So, use the link in description, get your money off, get your 3 months free. Boom, support the channel, support the project, and support the future project. Surfshark's got the fuel, it's all good. Right, back to digging. There we go. It's dug. It's all done. Everything I'm not drawing, I've been speaking about, you know, for all these videos, it's finally all been dug by hand. Now, I know what you're thinking, Colin, where has it all gone? These buckets, you load them up, you take them down, you winch them up, you stick them in the van. But where has it been taken, Colin? Because we've never seen that, have we? No! Now, this is a third of it, maybe a little bit less, but you get the idea. We've shifted a lot of rock. Okay, last bit, fabricate the tunnel, make the little alcove where the air compressor is going to go, and then of course surround it in concrete. You've seen all this before. Now, because this time we're building the tunnel right up to the rock face, I've got to block the sides off, so I've had to scribe the metal, cut it with this wonderful jigsaw-y thing, and fit it in before we go any further. You concrete holding back genius, boy! Oh yes, it is all welded up. Now under here, where the compressor's going to go, I've put like this little fence here, and then we're actually going to fill that up with concrete, because obviously compressors vibrate, sort of thing. You put it on a nice solid base, it will, the noise will travel less than what it would do on the Kingspan and plywood floor. So the concrete this time, there's no wheelbarrows. We're literally just going to pour it straight down the hole, straight out the cement mixer, straight down. Right, let's go and get the tarp set out. Let's have it. You know, I was saying earlier how we've had like the driest summer, God knows how many years. The day he comes to do the concrete in, it's peeing it down. But there we are. Straight down there. I got centered. Right, that's got it all full. This one's up to the top. This one's up to the top, ready to be smoothed off and everything. Now we've got a little bit of the excess concrete in these tubs, probably way more than what we need to obviously take down and fill in under the air compressor. And we actually had a bit more left over this time. So I filled the JCB bucket up. But it's good to have too much and not too little. Concrete's all gone off. Now I've shown in previous videos when the concrete goes off it gets really hot. Well, this time it got really hot. The walls were 45 degrees, the air temp down here was 36 degrees. It was like we were having another heat wave. Now, concrete slab's all good where we're going to put the compressor, so we've got to get that installed. Basically now what we're going to do is all the little finishing touches. Tear the carpet up, giggity, get it all nice and clean, seal it all up, stop the moisture out the ground coming into the tunnel and kind of giving it like this fustiness, clean the walls down, wax it all up. It's just finishing it off. It's the home straight now, people. Let's get it all looking nice. Now first up, we're going to tear all this mucky carpet up, have a really good tidy up, ready for what's going to happen next. Now, as you're going to see this, it's not chronologically exactly how it happens, but like with all big jobs, sometimes you have to start a job and then start another one and you can't finish another one until that one's finished and so on. But here we go. Now first up, we've got a permanent fixture for the ventilation fan. So after a bit of a measure up, a clean up with a wire brush, fully equipped with my safety squints, we then paint the back of the back box to stop any moisture causing any rust, and then it's onto the CNC plasma cutter to cut it out. But Colin never pressed record, so you'll just have to imagine what it looked like. So with a plate cut, you just poke the fan through, weld some fixing lugs on, give it a little bit of paint, and then pop it in its hole using magnets to steady it while you fix it in. And then, oh, don't that look lovely? We just need some sparks now, don't we, to make it work. Now, before we start laying any cable in, we've got to lift up all the outside boards around the tunnel. And this gives us a good chance to clean some of them up, because at various times in the tunnel process, when we've had hot concrete going off, the heat from that has come into the cold part, caused condensation, that's run down and kind of made some of the boards a little bit damp and a little bit dirty. Running the cables for the sockets was pretty simple. We basically just laid it in that outside channel underneath the boards through the channels that we'd left. I mean, basically the hydraulics running it, and now the cables are running it, and then we'd poke the wires up to the sockets through these little ducts that we'd left. It's like we knew we were gonna do this. Now, to put the sockets on the wall, we use this amazing tool called a stud welder. And this basically flash welds a little metal stud onto the tunnel wall, so then you can put the socket on, screw it, bolt it on, it is nice and solid. Then, once I've got that sorted, I need to go around the whole tunnel, marking out where all the sockets on, stud weld them all up, and then thread the cables up and wire it all up. Now, fitting the lights, this is a whole trickier job. Basically, we've got to pull all the cables through the box section. Now, I'm mounting the lights on the wall, but of course I'm not just mounting one light. Oh no, there is lots of lights. There is 14 lights in total, and of course they spread out the whole tunnel. This could take a bit longer. But to help me make the holes for the cables to run through, I got myself a new tool. Why did I not buy one of these years ago? This is amazing! Right, if there's anybody out there that's watched my videos and there is a tool which is like quite common, like a mag drill, that I don't have, that I should have, blooming tell me. Put it in the comments. Because this is amazing! So, with my hole drilling method sorted and back to the old classic furze plastic bag on the end of a bit of string, sucked through with a hoover to thread the cables job. Oh, what a method! We just got to thread all those cables in, get the lights mounted, and then switch it all on. Now, I know this doesn't look too bad on camera, but I'm not that happy with these wall lights. Basically, this is how I've done it in the tunnel, in the bunker, and I thought I'd do it the same, so when it joins up to it, it all matches. But now this is a lot longer, it kind of looks a bit dark. And also, because you're glaring at the lights, this wall here is just like darkness to me. I can't see it. So, down here, I've experimented. We've put them on the ceiling, which I like a lot better. So, happy with the new lighting position. I now fixed up the remaining lights, which means I can now take down the temporary festoon lights, which we've been using to light so far, wire up the light switches to the fuse board, and on to the next job, which is to temporarily seal off the ends of the tunnel, basically stopping all the moisture coming out the rock, getting into the air into the tunnel, causing condensation and dampness, and causing rust. Now, the shed end of the tunnel has a vent which goes up to the surface, which is all part of the ventilation system. So, as well as blocking it off, I had to weld this little collet on the back, get this flexible bit of pipe, stick it on that, and then block it off. This was a little bit tricky. So, with all the main jobs sorted, it's time for a few small ones. Tidy the hydraulics up, remove the minecart railway, get rid of all the welder and the tools, lower the compressor down, put it in its position, plumb it up, and switch it on. Right, that's got that finished. Just got to clean the walls, put the carpet down. I might need to add some soundproofing for this, but then you might not be able to hear it. You might not be able to hear it in the house. So, with a good steel brushing up of the walls, wiping them down, get them all nice and shiny, it's then time for one last hoover up, get some carpet down, and feel the luxury of a finished tunnel. Before you start a project, you've always got some idea in your head of what it's going to look like, but what you don't know is what it's going to feel like, being in its presence or using it. I've made vehicles and stuff which are super well engineered, compact, and they do exactly what I want them to do. But this tunnel is essentially just a corridor. It's got a warmth, it's got a sense of solidness. I don't know whether it's the lighting, whether it's the details, the stainless steel ladder, or whether it's the fact that it's got dark walls and a light carpet, which is the polar opposite to what you do in a house. But either way, walking through it is just absolute bliss. It is a wonderful place to be. Okay, I am clearly very pleased with how this has come on. It is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for watching all the videos and enjoying it. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed. This has clearly been one of the most popular projects I have ever done on YouTube. Now, of course, thanks to Rick for helping me. This has been pretty much impossible to do on my own. And thanks to Tom, of course, for sorting out some of the earlier digging deposits and coming to help him with his suit and his trumpet thing. Yeah. Right, now I've got a couple of stats because people are asking. So basically, this is just a rough estimate. There is 40 sheets of 4mm steel, 18 sheets of 2mm steel, 80 metres of 40mm box section, 120 metres of 50mm box section, and get this, there's about 444 metres of welding and about 75 cubic metres of concrete. Now, that doesn't include the frame which held the tunnel together while we were digging it. I can't calculate that anymore because I can't see it, it's all gone, and the concrete assessment might be wildly off as well because sometimes it just disappeared and then other times it would fill it right to the top. Anyway, this of course is just the corridor, the means to get to places. So what's next, Colin? What's at the end of these things? Okay, so the shed end of the tunnel is obvious. That's going to go down the bunker, straight down the garden, straight into the bunker, very nice. But on the way, do we stop off and do anything else? There is enough space. There's a question. But what about the other end? What about this car park you talk of, Colin? Wow, check this out. Pardon me, this is not to scale, but anyway. Okay, so we've got the DeLorean here. I do have a DeLorean, and this is where I want to put it because this would be so awesome. Right, so basically, we've got the house, we've got the tunnel here, which comes along from the front. This is roughly where it comes out, in between the house and the garage. So, I'd like to have a room underneath the front of the house here. It probably won't go the full distance right that way, but you know, pretty much along here. And then in here, we'll sit the car. Now, the big question with this is is how do we do this up and downy bit. Now, the simplest way would just be a scissor lift. So it just goes up, and then you have the drive bit on the top attached to it. So the whole thing comes up, you drive off, you drive back on, it comes back down again. But, come on guys, this is the 21st century. What happens if Colin comes in, drives in forward, lowers himself down? I don't want to be reversing out. So what I would like to do is to turn the car around in the room so when it comes back out, it's facing forward. Now this does pose a bit of a tricky problem because obviously if we do it right close, if the up and down mechanism is right close to this wall, you can't turn a car. You'd have to move it forwards a little bit or across, turn it round, and then bring it back again and then bring it up. Now the reason why I want this to happen over here as far as possible is because I don't want the car going up and down in front of my front door. And also if we have it happen over here, we might be able to fit 2 cars in here. So therein lies the complication, but I'm sure we can do it. Now of course, there is scissor lift. We can have hydraulics right underneath it, dig down a bit further. It could push it right up from the bottom. You know, we could have a big arm up the side here so the whole thing kind of goes up like a hand, and then maybe that could boom forward, spin it round, come back, spin it round, go up again. Oh, the questions. Now, if you've got any ideas of how you want to do this, stick it in the comments. Let's everyone get involved in this. This is going to be a mega project. I can't wait to come around the corner and just see the DMC sat there. It's going to remind me of that bit out of Back to Future 3 when it was buried for 70 years in the old mine. Oh, I can't wait. Right, that is the future. Subscribe people, go and check out all the other tunnel videos. There is 10 videos, I'm going to put them in a playlist. I might even compile them all into one mega video and get rid of all the introduction and talky bits so you can just watch it in one big lump. But there we are, thank you very much for coming on the journey. It has been a pleasure. See you out, this is the future. Boom!